Hello, race fans, and welcome to round 14 of the East Coast Formula One Championship. We are here at Circuit Paul Ricard in Le Castellet, France. It looks like the weather is quite gloomy outside here. We'll see who gets out first on track. We'll be looking to get some weather reports later on from some of the drivers. So let's get this qualifying session underway. It looks like a Renault, the team of Renaults, is the first to be out on track. Alright. Alright, so it looks like the Racing Point of Unholy Red Eye was actually first on track, so he'll be looking to warm up those soft compound tires and get his lap underway. Followed by the pair of Renaults of Snooker and Niru. Looks like everyone's taking their chance getting out on track quite early. No one's really waiting around except for a few cars sitting in the pits still. So that should help warm up the track, get some of the rubber on there and help get it a little more sticky. Alright, so Unholy Red Eye is about to start his first hot lap. As he comes around turn 15, Virage DuPont onto the pit straight, get that rear wing open, get DRS rocking. As he heads into the fast turn 1 and 2 of Verrier. It's an interesting turn with a little bit of elevation. He sticks it as he heads into turn 3. Definitely slows down the car quite a bit. It can be a tricky one too. You got to make sure you get on the power right. Oh, and he invalidates. Unfortunate for him. He has to take another trip around the track. The pair of Renaults are following closely behind. Not quite close enough to get a tow. We'll hop on with Snooker, I believe. No, my apologies. Niru is ahead of him as he breaks into that chicane on the Mistral Straight. And he'll head down the second portion into turn 10. He sets a purple sector 2, which can definitely change quite shortly here. There's still a lot of cars to get their hot laps in. We'll hop on board with him as he completes his first hot lap, heading through Bender into Village. He's got a good line there. Get this hairpin and get the power down, get that rear wing open. And he will set the first time of the session of a 129.654 for Renault. And his teammate will set a 132.3. Quite a few cars heading through on track. The Red Bull of Monkey Mafia with a 131.1. And the AlphaTauri of Dissection with a 136. Quite a few cars coming across, quite a few invalidations by the looks of it. Labatt's Blue of Mercedes of 131.4. Let's see if we can get on track with the next car here. The Haas of Brave Train with a 130.542, good enough for second right now. Greenan with a 131.1 for McLaren. And Detail with a 130.5 for Racing Point. He had that purple third sector. Made up some time there, obviously. Alright, we're going to get down with ZGS as he comes around the final corner of Virage DuPont onto the pit straight. Get that rear wing open. Head down across the line. And he didn't validate, actually. He won't set a time just yet. Got quite a few cars. We got the Renault with Snicker hopping into the pits. And his teammate will follow closely behind. Alright, we got Hightower coming around. Turn 15 onto the pit straight. He is on a hot lap. It is raining now, so it's getting pretty slippery out there for the guys with those slick compound tires. Good enough for 10th at the moment, though, 133.8, so you can clearly see that the track is getting quite a bit slower at the moment. Quite a few cars are dipping into the pits to get their intermediates or wets. We got the Alfa Romeo of Dan King spun out near the pit entrance. We have one retirement already, unfortunately. It looks like the Williams of Guitar Maniac must have spun and hit the wall. So that's an unfortunate series of events for the Williams team, as they will not get 2 cars into the qualifying session. That'll be a job for the mechanics quite shortly here, get him out and running again. It does look like the rain's coming down pretty hard, which is not uncommon here in France. So we'll see if he can, if these drivers can get their tires swapped out, readjust their strategies, and ooh, we got a spin from the Racing Point of Unholy Red Eye. Those slicks are just not gonna do it right now. He'll be fighting that car the whole way back to the pits. Looks like we got a Mercedes pulling out so far. Oh, I didn't hop on board. My apologies. Racer for Ferrari sets a 2:05.8. He is on the board. He'll obviously be looking to improve on that. Alright, so we're on board with Stewart in the Mercedes. He's got the intermediates on. You can tell by that green lettering on the sidewall. So we'll see if those tires are good enough to evacuate the water off the racing line. If the rain does continue heavily, they will swap over the wets, but for now they're sticking with the intermediates. He's getting some good speed there as he heads into the chicane on the Mistral Straight. Good exit out of turn 9. And with this heavy rain, I don't believe they will be using DRS. The stewards will eliminate that just for safety reasons. So he'll be the first car to set a lap on the intermediate tires. Monkey Mafia has retired already. He's got a 131.1 on the medium compound tire. Alright, so we got Stewart coming across the line shortly here to start his first hot lap. We'll hop on board with him. We got a little bit wide there. That'll hurt his time. Heavy brake into here. It's very crucial to be able to control your throttle pedal, and you do have to do quite a few upshifts just to make sure that you can keep the rear end under the car. He does set a purple sector 1. Oh, and he loses it. Can he save it? He will have broken the front wing. He does save it, thankfully for Mercedes. He'll have some damage there, but he doesn't bust a wheel off, which is very common coming out of that corner. So that'll end his hot lap. We'll hop on board with the Red Bull of Smith Pell. He also sets the purple Sector 1, so he'll be looking to run away with this. Very good exit there. Detail retired from the session. He is happy with his time, which is unfortunate for the guys that have to be out there right now and didn't get a time in early enough, because they will not get any faster than the guys on the dry compound tires early in the session. This is a quite a long track. 15 turns, 5.842 kilometers, or 3.6 miles, with 2 DRS sections. In those DRS sections, if you're within 1 second of the car ahead of you, your rear wing opens, lessens your downforce, and you can gain roughly 15 to 20 kilometers an hour, which aids in overtakes. We got a few more guys retiring now. Everyone in the bottom 12 roughly, or my apologies, bottom 8 will be looking to fight for their position at the start of the race. He crosses the line with a 1:43.8, so that is currently the time to beat on the wet tires. We'll hop on board with the Haas of Jake Kelly as he comes around Barrage onto the pit straight, getting on the power, and that was his outlap. My apologies. Alright, the next car across the line looks to be the McLaren of NF. Gets a little loose there. And he'll set a time of 1:44.9, so he's roughly a second behind the Red Bull of Smith Pell. So he may be looking to improve on that. Unfortunately, Racer has invalidated his lap. A few more guys on their outlaps. Next car across the line will be the Mercedes of Stewart. We'll see if he can... he has invalidated, my apologies. Quite a few invalidations out there, which is quite common with the wet conditions. Unholy Red Eye, he retires from the session. He's happy with his time, sitting in 10th position at the moment. We'll see what Jay Kelly can do here for Haas. He'll be looking to bump his starting position up. We got some comments in the stream. Monkey Mafia of Red Bull has commented that we are going to have a dry race. So, very unfortunate. Jay Kelly sets a 1:41.3, so he'll bump down Smith Pell. That's good enough for 12th position on the grid to start. We have an AlphaTauri coming across the line. Looks like Dissection's just getting some practice laps in. He already set a 1:30.6, which is good enough for P4 at the moment. NF is spun. His teammate Reenan is also putting in some practice laps on the inters. He won't improve his time. Alright, Dan King, he will be starting another hot lap here shortly for Alfa Romeo as he crosses the finish line and begins that. Heading into Verrier, the first chicane, which, like I said before, is a bit of an elevation change, so it is a tricky one. A quick left-right. He gets a little bit wide there, but it doesn't invalidate. That's lucky for him. He's taking her easy. He's losing quite a bit of time there. We'll see how his exit is coming out onto the Mistral Straight. He hangs onto it and gets headed down. Alright, we got Racer PNW, my apologies, Racer N06 is about to set his next hot lap. He improves from a 205 to a 151. So that's quite a big difference. Doesn't bump himself up, unfortunately. Good enough for P15 at the moment, as a couple drivers fly by him on their hot laps. Back on board with Dan King of Alfa Romeo. Looks like his teammate of Kaz is going to set a hot lap just before him as he comes around Virage DuPont onto the pit straight. Gets the power down. And that'll be good enough for P13 with a 143.4. Third fastest of the intermediates at the moment. Second fastest, my apologies. Alright, Dan King sets a 147.9, good enough for 16th. So right now we got Alfa Romeo in P13 and 16. We got Smith Pell, a Red Bull, on an outlap. He doesn't want to be starting in 14th, so he'll be pushing the Red Bull as hard as he can, see if he can't start higher up on the grid. Once again, like I said, we are in a dry race by the sounds of it. So strategies will change quite a bit from qualifying to the race session, but we'll see what happens. This is an interesting track, dry or wet. Can definitely get some very high speed sections on that back straight. So it should make for some good racing action. The Williams, the ZGS, goes fast enough for P14. Some guys are setting some pretty decent times here. As you can tell, a very large gap when it's wet versus when it's dry. Oh, we got Dan King off track. He must have lost it coming around there. It is easy to lose the back end on that corner if you're not careful. And we got his teammate of Kaz looking to improve his time. But he ran out of fuel just before the end of his hot lap, and he was too far to dive into the pits, so that'll end his qualifying session. As we wrap that up, it looks like Dan King will give up his hot lap and he'll dive into the pits. We've got a couple more drivers out on track in Smith Pell, which is set a purple sector 2. So he is flying in the Red Bull. He's looking pretty comfortable out there on the wet, intermediate tires. One of the rain compounds. As he comes around turn 14 to Tour, he'll be coming around this hairpin. Quick upshift on the power and see if he can improve, which he does, from 143 to a 142.2, and that'll end qualifying. The Williams of ZGS dives into the pits, and we are finished with the qualifying session here at the French Grand Prix, round 14 of the East Coast Formula One Championship. So we've got Niru for my apologies, Renault will be starting P1, Haas in P2 of Bray Train, Racing Point of Detail P3, P4 will be Dissection in the AlphaTauri, P5 of Renan for McLaren, Monkey Mafia will be starting 6th for Red Bull, P7 Labatt's Blues for Mercedes, P8 AlphaTauri of Raimai, And P9, Snooker in the Renault. P10, Unholy Red Eye for Racing Point. Hightower for Ferrari in 11th place. Jay Kelly and Haas for 12th. Smith Pell for Red Bull in 13th. Kaz Alfa Romeo in P14. ZGS for Williams in P15. McLaren driven by NF in P16. Dan King for Alfa Romeo in 17th place. Ferrari will be starting in 18th with Racer behind the wheel. Stewart in the Mercedes P19, and Guitar Maniac will close out the grid in P20. He'll be looking for driver of the day, that back to front challenge. Alright, a nice sunny day here. Sunday race day. The current track lap record during a race is a 132.74. That was set by Sebastian Vettel of Ferrari in 2019. So we'll see if anybody can come close to those lap times today. Everyone just doing their final preps on their cars, setting their tire strategies for the race. Fans will be excited to see some more Formula One action. Should see some good battles. With it being dry, we will have DRS zones open again. So if we get some close battles, we could see some nice overtakes. It can definitely get interesting in that first section of the Mistral Straight. If you happen to have DRS on someone, that is a heavy braking zone into that chicane, so things can get hairy there if you're trying to go wheel to wheel with somebody. Looks like we're just waiting for everyone to load in. Hopefully there isn't an error with the lobby. It's taken a while there, so we might have an issue. We appear to be having some technical difficulties. Hopefully we can get this figured out and not have to restart the lobby. That can be quite a pain. Alright, it looks like we waited it out just long enough. Everyone's on the grid and starting the formation lap. Looks like we lucked out there. we'll see what everyone is started on as far as tires go. We've got a pretty good mix so far. About half the grid is on the soft compound tire, which will be the stickiest, the most responsive, but it also wears out the fastest. We got about 7 drivers on the medium compound tire and a couple starting on the hards. From my racing days, I don't recall which strategy tends to pan out the best. Oh, it looks like Nero gets a little squirrely there. So we head back through the grid. Everyone doing the formation lap swerve, trying to get some heat into the tires for the race start. You definitely don't want to be starting on cold bricks, because that doesn't help anyone. Looks like we got a couple different strategies. Soft, soft, medium, medium. Brought to you by AWS, which obviously isn't panning out. We got a few guys starting on hards, a few on mediums, which could be doing medium to hard, medium to soft. We'll see just how long these tires last here at Circuit Paul Ricard. We're getting near the end of the formation lap. The cars will be checking up on the grid in their respective positions, and we'll be ready for lights out. I believe right about now the game takes over and aids drivers to the grid. We've had some testing recently in Formula 1 with the larger 18-inch wheel. I believe they're running about 13-inch wheels or 15-inch wheels on the cars now. Quite a bit different look to the cars in the following seasons. Alright, we got the Williams of Guitar Maniac, who happened to crash out in qualifying. He'll be pulling up the rear. Cars are getting ready, and here we go. Cars are getting set. 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go in the French Grand Prix. We got a little bit of swerving back there, guys making positions up. The Renault of Niru looks like he'll be first into turn 1. Get a little bit closer at the racing point. AlphaTauri, he's getting pressure from Red Bull. Decently clean. We got somebody off track at the back there. The Alfa Romeo of Dan King. Everyone, I didn't see too much carbon fiber. It looks like everyone got away pretty cleanly. The grid is just a little bit mixed up at the moment. A little bit slow going here into the first portions of the track while everyone's still bunched up. Nero is still leading for Renault with the Haas of Braytrain close behind. We'll hop on board in the Haas. Looks like Nero's starting to open up that gap a little bit. They're both on the soft compound tire. Dissection a little bit behind with a 1.5 second gap in the AlphaTauri as they head into a very fast sweeping right section. We have a yellow flag. Oh, and that's been taken away, so we're all right there. We got a VSC, a virtual safety car. Must have had a slight incident on track. I didn't catch it. All the cars seem to be okay. Oh, the AlphaTauri, the Alfa Romeo of Dan King looks like he's missing an end plate. He must have got some damage either from a car or running into a barrier. We got a few cars changing positions back near the front, which generally isn't. Oh, my apologies. We got a couple cars dove into the pits. Both racing points. They'll be looking to do a double stack here. And the McLaren of Renan. Oh, and that was nearly perfectly timed as they get away. He'll swap onto the mediums. He's changing his front wing too, so he must have got some damage. Virtual safety car is over, so some guys will be pulling up the rear part of the grid. Nero's trying to open up that gap on Brake Train again. Dissection and Jay Kelly not far behind. So we got a few more cars that opted to swap out to the medium compound tire, which they will be able to push for one more pit stop. We got a 3-second time penalty for NF, disobeying track limits. The grid is pretty bunched up right now after that VSC restart. Smith Pell and Red Bull looks like he's hunting down ZGS and Williams. Niru sets the first fastest lap of the day with a 1:36.037. We will be getting faster lap times for sure. DRS has been enabled by the stewards here at the Paul Ricard circuit, so we'll be seeing, we already got another fastest lap of 1:35.5. We will be seeing some quicker times down the pit straight and the back Mistral straight. Looks like Dissection should be getting DRS here. Close that gap slightly on Brake Train. Alright, we got an overtake of Raimai. Oh, ZGS had to take the long way around. He must have had a bit of a mix-up. I did miss that. Alright. Raimai is under attack from the Ferrari of Hightower. He's putting the pressure on. He tried to stick his nose in there, but figured he should back out. The AlphaTauri is getting a little squirrely there. He is in the soft compound, so he should have a slight advantage in the corners. Oh, gets into the back of him. He's really wanting that overtake. He's getting a few cars in his rear. We'll get a DRS train going here. Raimai is under attack. He won't be able to pull a pass off here. I don't know if Raimai has got some damage to his car. He's taken a few corners quite wide. Oh! Hightower gets into the side of the AlphaTauri trying to make a pass. Majorly unfortunate there, as he will lose quite a few positions. I couldn't tell if that was good defending or not giving enough space. Smith Pell will get DRS and he will fly by the AlphaTauri or Raimai into this heavy chicane, heavy braking chicane, and he'll stick that pass. With Stewart coming shortly behind, he'll be looking to make that position up as well. This midfield has got some pretty close gaps. It's a little spread out near the back here. Dan King and Alfa Romeo is looking to put a move on Holy Red Eye in the racing point. Niru at the front there is making a pretty big gap for himself. He's got 3 seconds so far on Brake Train, trying to pull away, get a good distance between him when it comes time for a pit stop. Dissection's just outside of DRS range. It looks like Jay Kelly's going to go for a pass. And he sticks it into Verrier. Very nice pass by Jay Kelly and the Haas. So we got a P2, P3 right now for Haas. Brake Train with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Dissection is not giving up too easy. He's putting the pressure back on the Haas cars. We'll have a few cars here in DRS range. Monkey Mafia will be just outside of DRS range, I believe. He won't have that rear wing open, so we'll get some extra speed down this straight. They'll open up that gap for Monkey Mafia. Dissection's not ready to give up just yet as he gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Just in this half a lap, Neru's got an extra few tenths on Bray Train. Kaz gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. We got a battle going on here with ZGS and Rimshaw. Raimai defends quite well. The Williams isn't giving up just yet. We got a pretty close pack here. Looks like ZGS is pulling back just a little bit, which isn't a bad idea on his part. He will have DRS here, so we'll see if he can get a good exit on Raimai and blow by him here on the pit straight. Here goes the Williams with the Mercedes quickly behind. And he won't get the move done, but he's looking to get it done here. A bit of a lockup, gets into the back end of him. Hopefully he didn't wreck his wing. Looks like the Mercedes blows by the Williams, and he is now hunting down that AlphaTauri. Ooh, he gets a little bit wide. Misses his braking point, bit of a lockup. And Kaz loses his position to 2 of the Williams. It looks like they'll be trying to get a toe off of each other. Alright, Stewart will make an easy pass here on Raimai. I believe with the DRS, he must be using up his energy of the battery and goes into this heavy braking zone, cuts the corner a bit, but makes the defend. Bray Train has lost his position to Jay Kelly, his teammate. We got a few penalties on track right now. Alright. Mercedes of Stewart is still on the attack, with the 2 Williams cars right behind him. Ooh, I missed a move by Monkey Mafia. Looks like we got Bray Train in the pit. He's looking to get some new tires. Saw a yellow flag, I must have missed it. Bray Train will be just coming out of the pits shortly here as he loses a few positions. He is putting on the soft compound tires, which is an interesting strategy this early in the race. They will not last till the end. Maybe he's hoping for a safety car or something of the sort. Dissection's got DRS, trying to catch up to Monkey Mafia. We got a few other close gaps here. Once again, we got this middle pack of P8, P9, P10, P11. Little DRS train going here down the Mistral straight into that heavy braking chicane. Very many different layouts that this track can be configured in. This is the popular one for Formula 1, but they do race GT cars and motorbikes around the track. Unholy Red Eye gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits for racing points, so that'll hurt his finishing time, unfortunately. Dan King is on the attack for Snooker, who seems to have been disconnected, unfortunately. I won't be able to get him back in the game. Oh, I missed it. My apologies. Oh, we got one of the Mercedes swapping out for some medium tires in the pits. So he'll lose a few positions. Other cars do still have to pit, so it's not a huge deal for them right now. He heads out ahead of the 2 McLarens. Alright, this battle is still going on in the midfield. We got a couple swaps from the Williams. Raimai is still on the hunt, or better yet, being hunted by the two Williams. They will have DRS here, so we'll see if they can hammer out a pass. Looks like Raimai, he must be eating up the fuel and the ERS, his battery power. Heavy braking zone, wheel to wheel. Can he make the move? Gets a little bit wide. Oh, and Raimai gets a better exit with those soft tires and hangs onto the position. Oh, and he gets a couple passes here. Bray Train and his teammate, Guitar Maniac, took advantage of his wide running there. He takes the position back from his teammate. Very big battle. Bray Train is trying to get the position and from Raimai and AlphaTauri. We got, oh, and he gets into the back of him, spins him out. Oh no. Haas will not be happy with that as the Williams get a little bumpy. Guitar Maniac runs wide. Kaz gets the pass done for Alfa Romeo. Raimai dove into the pits. He'll be looking for some new tires. The softs must be worn out after 7 laps. Alright, Racer is off track. Got a yellow flag. Stewart gets a time penalty for exceeding track limits. We got a big battle here with AlphaTauri and Haas. Sticks the move. I don't... Oh, he will lose DRS, I believe, to the car behind. He will. We'll see if Dissection... He does pass him. Oh, gets into the back of him. Hopefully didn't hurt his wing. Dissection showing some good pace on the hard compound tire. They are fresh out of the pits. Looks like the Racing Point of Detail is looking to hunt down the McLaren of NF. Hightower with a 3-second penalty. Quite a few penalties starting to plague the grid 10 laps into the race. NF gives up his position pretty easily, unfortunately. He'll be looking to get that back. Niru with a 133.1. Less than a second off the fastest real-life lap of this track. So we'll see if he can beat Seb today. Gaps are slowly starting to open up a little bit. We'll have a couple guys within DRS range of each other. Otherwise, the grid's starting to ease up. Near the back here, we got a pretty close one with Hightower and NF. The Ferrari hunting down the McLaren. The Ferrari Hightower will be close enough to get that rear wing open. Gets a bit of a loose exit there, but he's on the power. Let's see if he can stick it. Is he going to go for it? He does. Heavy brake, and he makes the move. Very nice pass by Hightower. Good exit, and he is pulling away quite quickly from NF and McLaren. Wow, that was a very, very nice move. The Alfa Romeo of Kaz hunting down Williams of ZGS. It looks like Kaz started the race, unless he pitted. He may have pitted early. 9-lap-old hards versus 9-lap-old mediums of ZGS. Bray Train with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's a tough one. Ooh, and he retires from the race. That'll be the end of his day, unfortunately. Kaz has fallen back a little bit from ZGS. Labatt's and Mercedes is in the hunt. Once again, he'll be close enough for DRS on Kaz. I don't know if Kaz will be able to defend. He was just far enough away, he won't be able to quite catch him yet, but he may be able to get him down the pit straight if he can get his line down. Jay Kelly right now out in front by about 4.5 seconds. It's a good showing for Haas. They'll be happy with that so far. We're a little over 1/3 done in the French Grand Prix. His pit window just opened for Haas, and they're suggesting he switches to the hard compound tire to finish out the remainder of the race. So he may pit this lap. He may stretch them out a little bit longer. We will see what he decides to do. Monkey Mafia in second place for Red Bull. Smith Pell in third place. So we got a 2-3 lockout so far for Red Bull. That'll definitely help their constructors' points. Miru and Renault not too far behind on the fresher medium tires, so I don't quite know what his strategy will be, but we will find out shortly. Alright, we got a little three-way battle going here between Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, and Williams. Don't see that too often in real life, but we'll take it. A couple DRS sections for these guys. They'll be looking to put the fight on. We'll see Labatt's closing in on Kaz. Is he going to outbrake him? Nope, he'll play it safe and duck back. He does have the medium compound tire. Oh, Kaz gets a little loose, and the Mercedes heads by. He'll stick the move, he'll complete that. Kaz won't be too happy, but he'll be looking to fight back here, staying on the gearbox of Labatt's. Guitar Maniac is closing in on Kaz once again. He does have the medium compound versus the hards. A little bit of brake marker there. ZGS is going to be losing some spots here. Oh, and the Williams, the ZGS spins out. I don't know if that was due to contact. I did miss that. Kaz goes a little wide for Alfa Romeo. Get that rear wing open, get flying down the pit straight. So that was an easy couple positions for Labatt by the looks of it. He didn't fight too hard. Racer gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Ooh, I did miss. So we got NF diving into the pits. Raimai has got some decently fresh softs. He'll be looking to make up some positions, try to get himself into the points. ZGS had a bit of a moment back there, but he's not given up. He's just outside the points. He'll be looking to get Williams a little further up the grid, hopefully. We're almost to the halfway mark here in the French Grand Prix. Round 14 of the East Coast Formula One Championship. Smith Pell up here is hunting down his teammate. He'll dive into the pits. They didn't want to do a double stack in the pit stop there. So Monkey Mafia will head into first place. Maybe try to provide a block for Smith to catch up. Those guys both swap out to the hard compound tires, so which you can tell by the white lettering on the sidewall. They'll be looking to push those till the end of the race, which should be easily doable based on the distance guys have driven on the mediums so far. Labatt's is closing in as Smith pulls out of the pits. He's got fresh hards on. We'll see if he can keep the pace over Labatt in Mercedes. We do know Mercedes has a fast car, so he'll be looking to put that to work. Guitar Maniac has still got the Alfa Romeo of Kaz in his crosshairs. They got similarly worn tires, although Kaz's will last longer than Guitar, so We'll see how the pit stops play in this round. NF has got fresh hards on for McLaren. He's got a bit of time to make up. He'll have quite a bit of fighting for the remainder of this race to make up some positions. Alright, we got Detail and ZGS and Hightower all fighting here. Looks like Detail's gonna head by ZGS and Hightower will be right behind him. Hightower's looking to make a move. He's definitely got some speed on Detail. It backs off a little bit of a lockup from Racing Point. Gets a good line. Detail almost goes a little bit wide, but pulls it in. ZGS is losing some time. I don't know if he's got damage. Rymai with a 3-second time penalty. I need to get off the onboards, get a little bit different camera angles here. My apologies, viewers. Alright, Renan pits for McLaren, and he'll be looking to push a brand new set of mediums to the end of the race. Hopefully he can get some good pace over some of the cars out there on the track at the moment. Rymai will make up a position on him. Guitar Maniac still has Kaz in his sights. Hightower didn't get the position on Detail. But he's not giving up too easy. Coming down the Mistral Straight. He's got the DRS. We'll hop on board with him as he comes into the heavy braking zone. Gets the move done very cleanly. And Racing Point will give up a position for the time being to Ferrari. Jake Kelly with a time penalty of 3 seconds for exceeding track limits. Which, as you can see on the right side of the names, we've got quite a few penalties plaguing the grid right now. A bit of a lockup from Detail. His teammate Unholy Red Eye not too far behind. Renan gets by ZGS. ZGS is losing some pace. I don't know if it's strictly his tires. He goes a little bit wide there. If it's his tires or if he's got wing damage. He's nearing the pit, so I imagine he'll be ducking in for a brand new set of tires. Monkey Mafia closing in on Kaz. He wants those spots back. Wants to get Red Bull up near the top. Unholy Red Eye with another time limit, track limit penalty, sorry. ZGS and Detail both dove into the pits. Detail's got some brand new mediums on. Looks like Monkey Mafia, he gets on the brakes, backs out. Doesn't want to battle just yet. Try to get a good exit and catch up to that Mercedes. He's using his ERS, his electrical energy recovery system. So that adds up almost 200 horsepower to these cars. So when you don't have DRS and you want a little bit extra jam, you hit that button and you got 200 horses on tap. He makes that pass easy on the bat. Guitar Maniac finally gets by Kaz. That was quite a battle there. I did miss the actual pass, but Kaz is going in for some new tires. We'll see what he decides to put on. I imagine it's going to be a set of softs. We only got we got about 10 or 11 laps left in this race. Gaps are pretty open. We got Rymai here in P13, only just under a second back. He dives into the pits as well. He does need some new tires, 7-lap-old softs. I didn't see what he started on, but he'll obviously push those for the remainder of the race. Alright, we got Niru out front in Renault. He's coming up on some back markers by the looks of it. That's some solid points for Renault if he can hang on to first place. He will need... He'll be pushing for sure. If he pushes these tires till the end of the race, they'll be roughly 19 laps old. They've got to be nearing the end of their life. So we'll see if he decides to pit or not. Nothing too close at the moment. You know, a second here, second there. Some other big gaps near the back of the grid. ZGS retired in the pits. Unfortunately, he couldn't get that Williams around the track any longer. His teammate, a guitar mechanic, heads in, trying to match up with Kaz in the Alfa Romeo they were battling earlier, so they should be pretty close by the time he comes back out of the pits. He'll lose a couple positions there. Hightower and Ferrari's hunting down Detail again. We'll see what he can do for Ferrari. Wasn't quite close enough to have DRS, but he'll be pushing, trying to make up some time in these next few turns here to see if he can't get him down that back straight. Alright. So once again, Kaz just sneaks out ahead of Guitar Mechanic, which we kind of figure would happen with their pit stops. He is 17 seconds back from the Mercedes of Stewart 156. I don't know if he'll be able to make up that time with the difference in soft and medium tires, but we will find out shortly. Detail, Hightower, and Unholy Red Eye are decently close on track. We got a Ferrari sandwich here in between the Racing Point cars. We'll see if they can close the gaps. So right now we've got 10 drivers in the points. Niru, Jay Kelly, Smith Pell, Monkey Mafia lost a position to his teammate, I just noticed. Labatt's Dissection, Stewart, Kaz, Guitar, and Renan. So they will be looking to hang on to those positions and get their teams some points, and themselves some points to the drivers and constructors standings. Unholy Red Eye sets the fastest lap of the session with a 1:32.001 in the pink Mercedes of Racing Point. So if we compare that to the real life lap times, it looks like he just beat Sebastian Vettel. So congrats to him. Racer gets another track penalty, and Detail right behind him with one as well on the exit of the of that corner under the Mistral Straight. Looks like Hightower outbreaks Detail, gets around him, sticks the move. Fantastic racing by Hightower. Detail and Unholy Red Eye. Looks like Unholy Red Eye will be getting a bit of a tow, a bit of a slipstream from his teammate. We got Labatt's in the pits for Mercedes. He does have a pretty good gap, so he should be, if he's lucky, he'll head out ahead of Kaz. Niru gets a 3-second time penalty. That'll be unfortunate for him coming down to the final laps of this race. Alright. Looks like Stewart put on his... Oh, my apologies. I was watching the bats in the pit. He's got fresh softs on, so he'll be making a push, possibly for fastest lap, and he'll want some more positions. Alright, looks like Dissection in the AlphaTauri gets past Stewart for Mercedes. He does have older hard tires. I don't know if he'll be able to keep that pace up, but we will find out. Hop on board with Labatt and Mercedes. He's trying to make his way back up the grid here. And after the 3-second time penalty for McLaren. So right now we'll hop on and see what we've got for penalties so far. So the leader, Jake Kelly, I missed that, my apologies. Looks like Niru just hopped into the pits for a fresh set of tires. He gave up his first place position. We'll see if he can fight back and get that first place. 3 seconds for Jake Kelly, 3 seconds for Niru, 6 for Dissection, 3 for Stewart, 6 for Kaz, 6 for Hightower, 6 for Unholy Red Eye, who just gets into a battle with Hightower, which I missed, my apologies, sticks the pass, and gets some revenge for his teammate Detail. Detail's not giving up easy, a little bit of a lock up there. And we'll get some DRS down this back straight. We'll see if they can... Hightower's not quite in the position to be fighting Unholy at the moment. We got a couple back markers there, unfortunately. I imagine some disconnects. I missed it. We got Monkey Mafia in the pits getting some brand new soft tires. Niru with a 131.6 will be the fastest lap. I think he'll be taking the fastest lap trophy home with him today. Monkey Mafia just exiting the pits, loses a couple places. And Kaz won't quite get there. So loses a few spots, nothing too crazy. He's about 25, 26 seconds roughly back from first place with 5 laps to fight. The top 2 cars do have hard compound tires, a little bit slower than the softs, but they do have a time gap. Looks like Guitar Maniac is pushing on Kaz, trying to get the Williams past the Alfa Romeo. If he gets a good exit here, he could have a good run down this back straight with the DRS and beat him into that braking zone. Kaz goes a little wide. He's trying to make sure he's on the racing line. Heavy braking, wheel to wheel, and he sticks the pass. The Williams gets by the Alfa Romeo quite nicely. Good work by Guitar. Kaz hasn't given up. He's right behind him. He's not going to concede too easily. Stewart's right on the gearbox at Dissection coming onto the pit straight. So you'll have a good run on him here going into turn 1 and 2 of Verrier. We'll hop on board with him quick. Won't quite get the move done, but he'll close the gap up slightly. Dissection gets a better exit there. Racer with another 3-second time penalty. Stewart's looking to just stay within DRS range of Dissection and the AlphaTauri for this back straight, which is the... Oh, and Dissection gets another penalty. That'll hurt his final grid placing. Dissection gets a very good exit. He will blow by the AlphaTauri with ease, unfortunately. His tires are significantly newer and a slightly faster compound, so I imagine he may be able to hold on to that position at least. Guitar Maniac gets by Kaz, and Labatt is hunting down Kaz as well. He's only about half a second back. Greenan is hunting in the McLaren of Hightower. McLaren obviously wants some points today, so we'll see if he can catch him. He does have a slight disadvantage on the tires, but anything can happen in the closing laps of the race. Goes a little wide there. Must have missed his braking point. Monkey Mafia with the fastest lap so far with a 1:31.5. Little over a second faster than the real life fastest lap. Bats cruising. He won't quite get there. Once again, he'll be looking to hang into DRS range for that long back straight. Details closing in on Greenan as well. The Mercedes is showing some pretty good, the pink Mercedes I should say, is showing some pretty good pace. I need a good exit here. Looks like Greenan's pulling away a little bit. Labatt's gonna blow by Kaz here. Dan King with a 3-second time penalty, running too wide. Or cutting a corner, I guess. Alright, Monkey Mafia. He's within striking distance of Stewart 156 in the Mercedes. He's got fresh softs. He's cruising at him. He won't quite get there into the braking zone. Get a good exit out of the chicane here. Try to make up a little bit of time. As they head around the sweeping corner of St. Bourne. Out of L'Ecole onto the back Mistral straight into the DRS zone. I don't know if he would have got a good enough run. I believe he's out of ERS. Is he gonna try to stick the move? He backs out. Probably a smart racing move on Monkey Mafia's part. We'll see if he can get the move done. We only got 2 laps remaining. Ten drivers in the points. It looks like we got a couple Red Bulls, a couple Mercedes, so that'll be good for their constructors' standings. Jake Kelly's hanging on to the front by a decent margin. Oh, I missed it. Monkey Mafia got by Stewart. There must have been an error on Stewart's part. Like I said, he does have a bit slower tire, a bit of a lock up there. Tires are starting to get worn out, not having much grip. He'll get DRS here, but it won't be enough to catch Monkey Mafia going into turn 1. Looks like Unholy Red Eye swapped for some brand new soft tires. Maybe he's trying to snag the fastest lap. We got a couple time penalties there in Kaz and Dissection. And Stewart gets a penalty trying to catch back up to Monkey Mafia. That will hurt his finishing place as well. There's going to be quite a bit of swapping at the end of the race here. As you can see, some guys have penalties, some do not. So if they close the gaps to within enough seconds, they will bump some spots. Only 3 out of the top 10 drivers are without penalties so far in this French Grand Prix. Smith Pell is really trying to close in on Jake Kelly. I don't know what he's got for penalties. 3 seconds. If he can get that gap within 3 seconds, he will take the podium. We are in the final lap. And Holy Red Eye snags another time penalty. Gaps are pretty open. Detail is just outside of the points if he can make up. He does have significantly less penalties. If he can get a little bit of time, he may bump himself into 9th position. Jay Kelly is just heading into the 3rd sector. Smith Pell is trying to close that gap. If he can get within 3 seconds, he could win this race. There's going to be a lot of swapping here when the checkered flag falls. Alright, Jay Kelly heading through Village into the Tour. Sweeping left-hander. 1:31 is the fastest lap time coming around for Aj DuPont. Headed down the pit straight. He will cross the line in 1st place. Smith Pell and Red Bull 3/10 behind. He will take 2nd. Niru for Renault will take 3rd place. And that will be your podium. Good points for Red Bull today. Jay Kelly with the 1st place. Congratulations to him. Monkey Mafia crosses the line for Red Bull in P4. Stewart will cross the line in P5 for Mercedes. Dissection in P6 for AlphaTauri. And Guitar Maniac will take 6th place from Dissection due to penalties for Williams. Labatt and Kaz cross the line, P8, P9. Hightower for Ferrari will take P10. Oh, and he gets bumped. And Renan gets into the points due to penalties for McLaren. There's those swaps that we were talking about earlier. That'll be exciting for McLaren. Good for them. He'll be happy with that single point for 10th place. And Raimai will be coming around the final hairpin onto the pit straight in P14 for AlphaTauri. And that will conclude the French Grand Prix round 14 of the East Coast Formula One Championship. Driver of the day goes to Stewart 156 in Mercedes. Very exciting race, lots of overtakes as Jay Kelly hops onto the top step of the podium for Haas with a Red Bull and Renault driver to accompany him. The traditional spraying of the champagne. There's your finishing order, I guess. Jay Kelly, Smith Pell, and Niru lock out the top 3 for the podium. Monkey Mafia, Stewart 156, Guitar Maniac P6, Dissection P7, P8 for Labatt, P9 for Kaz, P10 for Renan, P11 for Detail. 12th place goes to Hightower and Ferrari. 13th place for Unholy and Racing Point. He will have the fastest lap. I don't believe he'll get that single point, though, because he's not in the points in the top 10. Raimai for AlphaTauri in 14th. NF for McLaren in 15th. Dan King and Alfa Romeo in P16. And Snooker for Renault P17. Racer and Ferrari in P18. And a couple of DNFs for ZGS and Braytrain. We'll see if we can get the top 3 into the broadcast. See if we can get a little bit of a interview from those guys. we still got Jay Kelly, Smith Peliniru in here. Now we'll give them a second to possibly leave their parties or get down off the podium celebration there. Alright, looks like we are joined by Jay Kelly, the race winner for Haas. How are you feeling? Let's just be getting his mic ready there. There he is.
What's going on, man?
Congrats on the win. Fantastic drive. How are you feeling? I bet that was a heck of a drive.
Smith had me really pushing it in.
Yeah, he was hunting you down. He was only 3/10 back, and he would have stole it out from under you. So good.
I was really hoping
Good defending on the final laps.
it was a great race, boys. I don't know what happened to Ray Train.
I don't know either. I believe he did spin out. I do think he did have some contact from another driver, and maybe wasn't able to recover and decided to cut his losses and retire. Yep, it is. Well, looks like you're the only one in here, so congrats again, and see you next week.
Will do, mate. Thanks very much.
Certainly.
Thanks for having me.
And that'll conclude our round 14, the French Grand Prix for the East Coast Formula One Championship. We will see you next week.